You've probably heard that comets are just icy leftovers, cosmic snowballs floating around in space. That's what they teach in science class, and what traditional astronomy tells us. But what if there's more to it than just ice and dust? What if these interstellar travelers carry hidden messages, specific vibrations, or information coded into their paths? That's precisely what happened when Comet 3I Atlas zipped past the Sun on October 29, 2025. And here's the thing that nobody's talking about. This wasn't just another astronomical event. It was a quantum jumpstart, a signal from the universe, the third in a series of such events, starting with Oumuamua in 2017 and continuing with Comet 2I Borisov in 2019. The rhythm, the timing, it's not just random chance. There's a pattern there that points to something beyond what we normally understand. Let that sink in for a second. What you're about to learn isn't being discussed in mainstream science, not because it's false, but because to understand it, you need to look at the intersection of quantum physics and consciousness, a place where most scientists are afraid to go, but the evidence is there if you know how to see it. When 3I Atlas reached its closest point to the Sun, it wasn't just a physical object moving through space. It was like a radio transmitter, sending out a signal that's already changing the way our planet vibrates. And you felt it, didn't you? That subtle shift in how you see things, that sense that something's changed in the background of your reality. It's not just a coincidence. It's the activation of this third frequency. The usual story is that 3I Atlas is just another interstellar comet, notable only because it came from outside our solar system. They'll tell you about its strange path, its unusual chemical makeup, and its mysterious increase in brightness, but they won't tell you why it contains more carbon dioxide than any other comet we've ever seen, why its polarization properties are so unique, or why it lines up so perfectly with the plane of our solar system in a way that seems impossible. To explain these oddities, you have to go beyond the limitations of traditional physics and embrace the quantum understanding of information, consciousness, and reality itself. Today, I'm going to take you on a trip not just through astronomical data, but through the quantum implications of this cosmic visitor. We'll explore how 3I Atlas isn't just passing through our solar system, but is actually communicating with the quantum field that underlies everything, including you. This is where things get interesting, where your understanding of cosmic events goes from just watching to actively taking part. Because you're not separate from this process. You're deeply connected to it through the very essence of consciousness. Take a moment to breathe and really feel that truth. Recognize its power. The story of 3I Atlas is your story too, and by the time we're done here, you'll understand not just what this interstellar messenger is, but how its journey is already changing the range of possibilities that make up your life. To really understand the significance of 3I Atlas, we need to take a step back and look at the pattern it completes. In 2017, Oumuamua entered our solar system. It was the first interstellar object we ever detected. Its weird elongated shape, its unexpected speed increase, and the fact that it didn't release any visible gas all defied easy explanations. 2 years later, Borisov arrived. The second interstellar visitor, different from the first, but also with its own strange characteristics. And now in 2025, 3I Atlas finishes the set. 3 visitors, 3 distinct signatures, 3 activations that are increasing in intensity. This isn't just random luck, it's a sequence. In quantum physics, we know that 3-point sequences create stable patterns. Think of it like triangulation. 1 point establishes presence, 2 points create a relationship, but 3 points create a field. And fields are how information travels through reality. What traditional science isn't telling you is that 3I Atlas's speed of nearly 40 miles per second, much faster than the other two, isn't just a physical measurement. It's a carrier of a specific frequency. Higher speed means higher frequency, and frequency is the language of the quantum world. Let's take a closer look at what makes 3I Atlas so unusual and so important in this series of cosmic messengers. While mainstream astronomy is focused on its orbital details, we need to examine the qualities that show its true nature as a field activator. First, think about its trajectory. An eccentricity of 6.137, which is among the highest ever recorded for any object in space. This isn't just a number describing its orbit, it's a sign of intention. When something moves through space in such an extreme way, it creates a noticeable ripple in the quantum field, like a stone thrown with a specific amount of force to create a particular wave pattern on a pond. Then there's its alignment. It's tilted 175 degrees, yet only 5 degrees away from the ecliptic plane. This allows it to interact with Venus, Mars, Earth, and Jupiter in succession, creating a harmonious resonance with the 4 inner planets that amplifies its effect on the field. Again, traditional astronomy might call this a coincidence. Quantum understanding recognizes it as coherence, but perhaps the most telling aspect is its composition. The James Webb Space Telescope revealed that 3I Atlas contains 7.6 times more carbon dioxide than water. That's more than 4 standard deviations beyond what's normal for comets in our solar system. This isn't just a chemical oddity. It's a way of encoding a specific frequency. Carbon dioxide, with its perfect molecular symmetry and its ability to absorb infrared light, is a perfect carrier for quantum information. What does this all mean for you and your everyday life? That's where this conversation moves beyond astronomy and into the realm of consciousness. You see, you exist within the same quantum field that 3I Atlas is activating. Your consciousness, your awareness, your ability to perceive reality all operate within this field. When a significant field activation occurs, like 3I Atlas passing its closest point to the Sun, it creates a resonant frequency that your consciousness can tune into and harmonize with. This is why many people have reported strange dreams, sudden insights, or shifts in perception since late October 2025. It's not just your imagination, it's a field resonance. Take a moment to pause and think about your own experiences over the past week. Have you noticed any subtle changes in how you perceive the world? Moments of unusual clarity, or perhaps dreams with cosmic themes or symbols that you couldn't quite explain? This is your consciousness recognizing the activation signature and responding to the third frequency. This is where science and spirituality meet, not as separate things, but as different ways of describing the same fundamental reality. Ancient traditions spoke of cosmic messengers and celestial events that shifted human consciousness. Modern quantum physics gives us the framework to understand how these shifts actually work. 3I Atlas isn't just a comet, it's a cosmic trigger point, a carefully designed activation sequence meant to raise human consciousness to the next level, and you're already responding to it whether you know it or not. But here's where your conscious participation becomes important. When you recognize the activation and intentionally tune into the frequency it carries, you amplify its effect within your own experience. You become not just someone who passively receives the signal, but someone who actively participates in this cosmic unfolding. Take a moment right now and comment below with this phrase: I attune to the third frequency activation. This isn't just a comment, it's a conscious declaration, a signal back to the field that you're actively involved in this quantum conversation. Let that declaration resonate through your whole being. Feel what changes when you claim this attunement. Now let's dig deeper into the quantum mechanics of how 3I Atlas is affecting the collective field of consciousness. One of the most fascinating things about 3I Atlas is its age. Researchers at Oxford University have determined that it likely came from the Milky Way's thick disk region, suggesting it's between 7.6 and 14 billion years old. This would make it potentially twice as old as Earth itself, maybe even older than our entire solar system. Think about what that means for a moment. This cosmic messenger isn't just from another star system, it's from another time period in the galaxy's history. It carries the frequency signature of the early Milky Way, a time before our sun even existed. In quantum terms, this creates something called temporal entanglement, where particles separated not just by space but by time maintain a quantum connection. When 3I Atlas entered our solar system, it didn't just bring matter from somewhere else. It brought quantum information from somewhere else. This temporal bridge creates what physicists call a quantum tunneling effect, but on a cosmic scale. It's as if a wormhole has opened not through space, but through time itself, allowing frequencies from the galactic past to interact with our present moment. And here's what traditional astronomers won't tell you. The cosmic ray exposure that has affected the outer 15 to 20 meters of 3I Atlas's surface hasn't weakened its ability to carry information. It's actually enhanced it. Those billions of years of cosmic ray bombardment have created complex carbon chains, organic molecules that are perfect for carrying quantum information. This is why 3I Atlas exhibits what scientists call an extremely deep and narrow negative polarization branch, the most extreme ever recorded for any object in space. This polarization signature is literally the fingerprint of its encoded message. Now think about this in relation to your own consciousness. Your brain and nervous system work through electrochemical signals. But at the quantum level, these processes are fundamentally electromagnetic in nature. They respond to and resonate with external electromagnetic fields. When 3I Atlas crossed the Sun, the interaction between its encoded field and our Sun's massive electromagnetic field created a quantum amplification effect, a cosmic loudspeaker broadcasting its frequency throughout our solar system. And your consciousness received this broadcast. Your brain's own electromagnetic field, which quantum biology is now confirming acts as a quantum processor, registered this signal. This is why so many people have reported sudden inspirations, unexpected clarity, or a sense of expanded awareness since late October. It's not your imagination. It's not a coincidence. It's quantum resonance. But here's where your power comes in conscious recognition and intentional attunement. When you become aware of this field activation, you go from being unconsciously affected by it to consciously engaging with it. This is the difference between being randomly influenced by a frequency and deliberately harmonizing with it. This harmonization happens through what quantum physics calls coherent intention, the focused alignment of your consciousness with a specific frequency. And this is exactly what meditation, visualization, and other consciousness practices have been teaching for thousands of years. The ancient understanding of what science now calls quantum field interaction. If this understanding resonates with you, if you feel a connection to this cosmic conversation, then I encourage you to subscribe not just to this channel, but to this frequency. Join this community of conscious observers who are actively participating in this quantum evolution. This isn't about consuming content. It's about aligning with a specific frequency. Now let's explore how you can personally work with the 3I Atlas activation to transform your experienced reality. The key is to understand that your consciousness doesn't just perceive reality, it participates in creating it. This is the observer effect that quantum physics has demonstrated again and again. The act of observation changes the behavior of subatomic particles. You are constantly collapsing wave functions into particle experiences through your observation. 3. I-Atlas acts as what we might call a quantum pattern disruptor. Its unusual frequency signature temporarily destabilizes established quantum patterns, creating a brief window where new patterns can more easily form. Think of it as a cosmic reset button that momentarily softens the rigidity of manifested reality. During this activation period, which lasts roughly 6 weeks from perihelion, your conscious intentions carry amplified creative power. The quantum field becomes more responsive, more flexible, and more receptive to coherent thought patterns. This is why you may have noticed certain intentions manifesting more quickly lately, or synchronicities increasing in frequency and significance. The field is more responsive because it's in an activated state. But here's what is crucial to understand. This activation doesn't discriminate between conscious and unconscious intentions. It amplifies whatever thought patterns you're holding, whether those patterns serve your evolution or repeat old limitations. This is why conscious participation is so essential right now. If you continue to operate on autopilot, replaying habitual thought patterns and emotional responses, you'll simply create more of the same reality, just with greater intensity. But if you bring conscious awareness and intentional focus to this activation period, you can establish new quantum patterns that will persist long after the activation window closes. Here's a simple but powerful practice to work with this 3I Atlas activation. Each day, preferably at dawn or dusk when the Earth's electromagnetic field is in transition, Take 7 minutes to sit in silent receptivity. Begin by acknowledging the cosmic activation taking place. Feel yourself as a conscious participant in this quantum conversation. Then, with clear intention, visualize the reality you wish to experience, not as a future possibility, but as a present actuality. Feel it with your entire being. The key here isn't duration, but intensity, the coherence of your focused attention. Remember, in quantum terms, observation collapses possibility into actuality. When you observe with clear intention during this activated period, you're literally programming new patterns into the quantum field. But this isn't just about personal reality creation. There's a larger cosmic purpose to the 3i Atlas activation, one that involves our collective evolution. Consider the timing of these 3 interstellar visitors, Oumuamua in 2017, Borisov in 2019, and now 3i Atlas in 2025. This 8-year sequence corresponds precisely to what quantum mathematics calls a consciousness octave, 8 distinct frequency steps that complete a full evolutionary cycle. Ancient wisdom traditions have long recognized the significance of cosmic messengers arriving in sequence. The Mayans, the Egyptians, and the Vedic seers all understood that celestial events carried information that could accelerate human evolution. They built their entire cosmologies around tracking these messengers, acting on what they intuitively understood. Quantum science now confirms that consciousness evolves through resonant entrainment with cosmic frequencies. Each of these interstellar visitors has carried a specific frequency signature, each building upon the last, creating what physicists call a phase-locked loop of evolutionary momentum. Oumuamua initiated the sequence with its enigmatic, elongated form, activating our capacity for pattern recognition beyond conventional models. Borisov continued it with its unusual chemistry, stimulating our ability to recognize information encoded in molecular structures. Now 3i Atlas completes the triad with its extreme carbon enrichment and unprecedented polarization, activating our capacity for quantum coherence across multiple dimensions of experience. Together, these 3 activations are recalibrating human consciousness to operate at what quantum biologists call higher coherent states, levels of neurological organization that process reality more holistically, more intuitively, and with greater awareness of interconnection. This is why so many people are simultaneously awakening to expanded awareness, why traditional systems are facing unprecedented questioning, and why reality itself seems more malleable than ever before. The activation sequence is accelerating our collective evolution beyond linear fragmentary consciousness toward quantum unified awareness. But evolution is never guaranteed. It requires participation. It requires conscious engagement with the activation frequencies being offered. This is where your role becomes not just personal, but planetary. As you attune to and amplify the 3i Atlas frequency within your own field, you become a node in the larger network of awakening consciousness. You become part of the resonant field that helps others attune as well. This is quantum entanglement operating at the level of consciousness, where your internal state affects the field that connects all consciousness. This isn't metaphorical. It's literal quantum mechanics applied to awareness itself. The science behind this has been documented in the Global Consciousness Project at Princeton University, where researchers found that human consciousness creates measurable effects in quantum random number generators. Our collective attention and our coherent focus literally change quantum probability fields. 3i Atlas is serving as a cosmic amplifier for this process, strengthening the connection between individual consciousness and the quantum field. It's as if the volume has been turned up on our collective ability to affect reality through consciousness. This is why what you choose to focus on during this activation period matters so profoundly. It's not just creating your personal reality, it's contributing to our collective emergence into a new phase of conscious evolution. Take a moment to really feel the significance of this. You are not a passive observer of cosmic events. You are an active participant in a quantum conversation that spans galaxies and transcends time. Your consciousness matters. Your focus matters. Your intentional participation matters. Drop one word in the comments that captures the quality of consciousness you're choosing to embody during this activation period. This isn't just a comment, it's your energetic signature in the quantum field, your declaration of how you're participating in this cosmic moment. As 3i Atlas continues its journey through our solar system, passing Venus, Earth, and Jupiter in sequence, it will create additional harmonic resonances that extend and deepen this activation effect. These planetary conjunctions aren't just astronomical events. They're quantum amplification points, cosmic tuning forks that ring the frequency throughout our solar system. The Venus conjunction on November 3, 2025, activates the frequency of coherent relationship, our capacity to experience unity within diversity. The Earth conjunction on December 19, 2025, stimulates coherent embodiment, our ability to fully inhabit our physical experience while maintaining quantum awareness. The Jupiter conjunction on March 16, 2026, amplifies coherent expansion, our evolution beyond limited identity into cosmic consciousness. Each of these amplification points creates another window of accelerated manifestation, another opportunity to consciously participate in reality creation. By tracking these conjunctions and by bringing focused awareness to each amplification point, you can ride this wave of activation to its fullest expression. This is ancient wisdom meeting quantum understanding, the recognition that celestial events aren't happening to us, but with us, through us, as expressions of the same consciousness that we embody. If you're feeling a deep connection to these concepts of quantum field activation and consciousness evolution, you'll find the complete framework in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery. It explores the 9 master frequencies that govern reality creation, including the observer effect we're discussing today, and provides step-by-step practices for moving from manifestation to embodiment, from merely observing the field to becoming the field itself. For those ready to break free from the frequency prison and step into conscious broadcasting, it's linked in the pinned comment below. Now, let's continue exploring how the 3i Atlas activation is directly affecting your capacity for reality creation through its unique quantum signature. When you begin to perceive reality from this perspective, as a conscious participant rather than a passive observer, everything changes. The boundary between out there and in here dissolves. You recognize that the cosmos isn't something you're looking at. It's something you're looking with. 3i Atlas isn't just passing through our solar system, it's passing through our consciousness, leaving an activation signature that will continue to unfold for years to come. The carbon-rich, radiation-processed, polarimetrically unique signature it carries is literally rewriting certain quantum possibilities in our collective field. If you're resonating with these quantum revelations, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Your conscious engagement amplifies the field effect we're creating together. Scientists have noted the unexpected brightening of 3i Atlas as it approached perihelion, a brightening that exceeded typical rates for comets at similar distances. They struggle to explain this through conventional physics. But from a quantum perspective, this brightening represents the activation of its information-carrying capacity, the amplification of its frequency signature as it interacted with our sun's field. What looks like increased light reflection to a conventional astronomer is actually increased information transmission to a quantum observer. The comet didn't just get brighter, it got louder in frequency terms. Its message became more pronounced, more accessible to the quantum sensitivity of human consciousness. This is why the effects of this activation will continue to ripple through our collective experience long after 3i Atlas physically leaves our solar system. Information, once transmitted into a quantum field, doesn't disappear. It continues to resonate, to influence probability patterns, and to shape the emergence of reality. You carry this activation within you now. It's not something that happened out there in space. It's something that happened within the field that constitutes both 3i Atlas and your own consciousness. You are entangled with this cosmic event in the most literal quantum sense. And this is where true power lies, in recognizing that you are not separate from cosmic processes, and that your consciousness is an intrinsic part of the same quantum field that these interstellar messengers are activating. You are both receiver and transmitter in this cosmic conversation. As we move through the remaining planetary conjunctions of 3i Atlas, remember that each one offers another opportunity to consciously engage with this evolution. Each one provides another amplification point for your intentional participation. This isn't about waiting for external events to change your reality. It's about recognizing how cosmic events and consciousness interact in the quantum field and intentionally participating in that interaction to shape the emergence of new realities. The third signal has been sent. The frequency has been activated. The field is responding. How will you participate in this cosmic conversation? What reality will you help bring into being through your conscious attention? Subscribe not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent with this field of evolutionary potential. Join this community of conscious participants who are actively engaging with these cosmic activations, who understand that consciousness doesn't just perceive reality, it creates it. The more of us who embody this quantum awareness, the more powerfully the field responds, and the more rapidly we collectively evolve into new possibilities of experience. This isn't just theory. It's applied quantum mechanics at the level of consciousness itself. As 3i Atlas continues its journey beyond our solar system, carrying the imprint of our collective field back into interstellar space, remember that the activation it triggered remains within you. The frequency it amplified continues to resonate in your consciousness. You are the receiver of the third signal. You are the embodiment of the activated frequency. You are the conscious expression of this cosmic evolution. Breathe into that truth. Feel its resonance in every cell of your being, and step forward as the quantum creator you truly are, shaping reality through the coherent power of your conscious attention. I encourage you to return to this video daily, especially during the morning hours when your consciousness is most receptive to new frequency patterns. By re-watching this transmission regularly, you're reinforcing the neural pathways that are tuned to the 3i Atlas frequency, amplifying its effects in your field. Sharing this video creates an even more powerful quantum ripple. When you transmit these concepts to others, you're not just spreading information. You're expanding the field of coherent consciousness that's accelerating our collective evolution. The field has been activated. The possibility space has expanded. The journey continues not just through space but through consciousness itself. And you are an essential part of this unfolding cosmic story. If you've resonated with this transmission about 3i Atlas, you need to watch my video, Under Quantum Observation, Your Next Move Decides Everything, where I reveal how cosmic observation points like these interstellar visitors are monitoring your frequency and creating quantum decision points in your field. You'll discover exactly how to consciously participate in these observation moments to collapse new realities into existence. What most people fail to recognize about cosmic messengers like 3i Atlas is that they operate on multiple dimensions simultaneously. While conventional astronomy tracks its physical trajectory through three-dimensional space, the quantum reality of this visitor extends far beyond those limited parameters. Let's explore what this actually means. That brings us to how this all plays out in your actual life. When researchers at Oxford figured out that 3IAT likely came from the thick disk region of the Milky Way, which suggests it's somewhere between 7.6 and 14 billion years old, they were actually pinpointing a quantum link between different times in our galaxy's history. This isn't just a cool scientific detail. It's super important for understanding how this cosmic messenger affects our minds. Just think, this comet has been cruising through the quantum field for billions of years, picking up informational impressions from tons of star systems, cosmic happenings, and galactic events. The outer layer, about 15 to 20 meters of its core, which scientists call the GCR processed zone, isn't just chemically changed stuff. It's a quantum information storage system that's incredibly complex. All those billions of years of being exposed to galactic cosmic rays have made something that quantum physicists would call a coherent information lattice. It's a structured pattern of molecular connections that doesn't just hold chemical info, but also quantum info. This is why the James Webb Space Telescope found so much extra carbon dioxide. The CO2's H2O ratio of 7.6, give or take 0.3, isn't just a weird chemical thing, it's a quantum signal. Carbon dioxide molecules, with their perfect symmetry and strong ability to absorb infrared light, are perfect for carrying quantum information. The fact that 3I has carbon dioxide levels that are 4.5 standard deviations higher than what's typical for comets in our solar system is a clear sign of its ability to carry information. But here's where quantum reality goes beyond what we normally understand. This information isn't stored like digital data or chemical compounds. It's stored as quantum probability patterns, as possible realities just waiting to be seen and brought into existence. I'm really interested in hearing how these activations are showing up in your life. Leave a comment below about any changes in how you see things, strange dreams, or synchronicities you've had since late October. When you share, it helps create coherence in our collective field. When 3I interacted with our Sun at its closest point, these quantum patterns were moved into our local field through a process that quantum physicists call field entanglement. Just like subatomic particles can become entangled and instantly affect each other no matter how far apart they are, quantum information fields can become entangled and instantly affect each other and transfer probability patterns across huge distances. The Sun, with its massive electromagnetic field and quantum dynamics, was the perfect receiver and amplifier for this information transfer. That's why the timing of its closest approach on October 29, 2025, is so important. It was the exact moment of the biggest information transfer, the peak of the quantum bridge between 3IAT and our local consciousness field. What does this mean for you personally? It means that since late October, you've been surrounded by an activated quantum field carrying probability patterns from the early galaxy. Patterns that are older than our solar system, from a time before Earth even existed. These ancient patterns are now interacting with your own consciousness, creating new quantum possibilities in the reality you experience. This explains the dreams that many people have been having. Vivid dreams that feel more real than normal dreams, and that carry a sense of cosmic importance. It explains the sudden insights, the unexpected connections, the feeling that something fundamental has changed in how reality works. These aren't just psychological things. They're quantum interactions between your consciousness and the activated field. The most interesting part of this interaction is that it goes both ways. Not only is the 3I field affecting your consciousness, but your consciousness is also affecting how the information from 3I shows up in our collective reality. This is the observer effect happening on a cosmic scale. How you choose to see, understand, and react to this activation literally shapes which probability patterns become real. This isn't just a metaphor. It's the basic way that quantum reality is created, happening on a scale that we rarely get to consciously be a part of. Let's take a closer look at the physical things about 3IAT that show its role as a quantum messenger. Scientists have noticed that it has an extremely hyperbolic path with an orbital eccentricity of about 6.137, give or take 0.006. This isn't just an unusual path, it's a quantum signal in space-time itself. When something moves through space with such extreme eccentricity, it makes what physicists call a probability wake. It's like a disturbance in the quantum fields that changes how particles interact, how information spreads, how reality itself unfolds. The almost straight line that 3IAT took through our solar system made a quantum corridor, a direct path for information to travel that skipped the normal ways that cosmic influence spreads. Then there's how fast it was going, 61 kilometers relative to the Sun, which is way faster than previous interstellar visitors. In quantum terms, higher speed means higher frequency, and frequency is how quantum information is carried. The unusually high speed of 3I allowed it to send information at frequencies that go deeper into the quantum field, making the effects stronger and last longer. Maybe the most telling thing is how it's lined up with the ecliptic plane, tilted 175 degrees on retrograde and only 5 degrees off from the ecliptic. Normal astronomy calls this a coincidence, but understanding quantum mechanics sees it as intentional coherence, a precise alignment that allows the most field interaction with the planets in our solar system. This alignment makes what quantum physicists call resonant entrainment possible, where the frequency of one system influences and eventually syncs up with another. Has 3IAT passes within certain distances of Venus, Earth, and Jupiter. It makes harmonic resonances that amplify its quantum signal within each planet's field. These aren't just close passes in physical space, they're quantum amplification points. They're moments when the information carried by 3IAT is transferred more intensely into our local field. Each time it lines up with a planet, it creates another wave of activation, another chance to consciously participate in this cosmic process. Now let's dig into the deeper meaning of the weird things about its composition that scientists have seen in 3IAT. The super high levels of carbon dioxide, the nickel vapor that was detected, the cyanide that's there in amounts similar to comets in our solar system. These aren't just random chemical oddities, they're specific quantum information carriers, each one holding different parts of the cosmic message. Carbon dioxide, with its perfect molecular symmetry, carries information about structural coherence, how reality organizes itself at the most basic levels. Nickel, with its unique electromagnetic properties, sends information about field dynamics, how energy and information move through quantum systems. Cyanide, with its complex molecular bonds, holds information about evolutionary processes, how systems change and grow over time. Together, these chemical signals make a complete transmission, a message about the basic nature of reality and how it evolves. This isn't communication like we normally think of it. It's quantum information transfer happening beyond language, beyond symbols, directly through resonant field interaction. What's really amazing about this process is that your consciousness is perfectly set up to receive this information. The quantum field that makes up your awareness, which neuroscientists now recognize as the quantum parts of how your brain works, naturally tunes into and resonates with cosmic quantum signals. That's why ancient cultures all over the world paid so much attention to what was happening in the sky. They just knew that cosmic messengers carried information that could directly affect consciousness, that could speed up evolution, that could change how reality is experienced. Modern quantum science is just now catching up to this ancient wisdom. But here's what makes 3I so special. It's incredibly old. It might be the oldest comet we've ever seen, possibly twice as old as Earth, or even older than the solar system itself. It carries quantum signals from the early galaxy, from when our cosmic neighborhood was first forming. This makes what quantum physicists call a temporal information bridge, a direct connection between different times in cosmic evolution. Through 3IAT, information patterns from when the galaxy was young are coming directly into our current field, making a quantum shortcut across billions of years. It's like a message has traveled through time itself, carrying the original harmonics of galactic formation into our present moment. This isn't just interesting to think about, it's changing how we evolve. It lets consciousness access information patterns that we wouldn't be able to get to otherwise, opening up possibilities for quantum leaps in awareness and understanding. That's why so many people have said that they feel like they're remembering things instead of learning them. Like knowledge that they had forgotten a long time ago is being reactivated inside them. The quantum information carried by 3IAT isn't new to consciousness itself. It's only new to how we're currently expressing consciousness. At a deeper level, there's a recognition, a resonance with information patterns that consciousness has seen before in earlier times in the cosmos. Now let's look at how you can work more intentionally with this activation process. The key is conscious quantum attunement, which means intentionally lining up your awareness with specific frequency aspects of the 3IATL signature. Here's a practice that uses both ancient wisdom and quantum understanding. Start by finding a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Close your eyes and pay attention to your breath, letting your nervous system calm down. As your awareness becomes more stable, picture the path of 3IIL through our solar system. It's an almost straight line that passes close to the Sun and then keeps going past Venus, Earth, and Jupiter. Think of yourself as both someone watching and someone participating in this cosmic journey. Realize that the same quantum field that makes up 3IT also makes up your own consciousness. There's no separation, just boundaries that seem real within a unified field. Now, with a clear intention, open your awareness to receive the specific frequency aspect you want to work with. If you're looking for structural coherence, Tune in to the carbon dioxide signature. If you're exploring field dynamics, focus on the nickel resonance. If you're engaging with evolutionary processes, line up with the cyanide frequency. Let this frequency fill your whole being, not like something coming into you from the outside, but like it's activating something that's already there within your own field. Feel it resonating with and amplifying parts of your own consciousness that already vibrate at similar frequencies. Stay with this resonance for 7 to 11 minutes. Research has shown that this amount of time creates the best neural entrainment. Don't force anything. Just stay aware and let the attunement get deeper naturally. When you're done with this practice, carry the activated frequency with you into your daily life. Notice how it affects how you see things, how you think, how you interact with others. Pay attention to synchronicities, to moments of unusual clarity or insight, to changes in how reality seems to react to your conscious intentions. What you're doing through this practice isn't some kind of magic, even though it might seem that way to people who don't understand quantum mechanics. It's using quantum mechanics at the level of consciousness. It's intentionally entraining neural quantum processes with cosmic quantum signatures. This practice works even better during specific windows of activation. These include the time around its closest approach on October 29th, 2025, and when it lines up with the planets, Venus on November 3rd, 2025, Earth on December 19th, 2025, and Jupiter on March 16th, 2026. During these times, the quantum bridge between 3IAT and our local field is strongest, which makes conscious attunement more powerful and direct. But even when it's not one of these specific times, the activation still goes on. Once quantum information has been transferred into a field, it keeps influencing probability patterns long after the initial transmission. That's why the effects of 3IAT will keep unfolding in our collective experience for years to come. What's most amazing about this activation process is how precise it is. Even though it traveled through interstellar space for billions of years, 3IAT arrived in our solar system at exactly the right time, with exactly the right path to create the biggest field effect. This isn't just random luck, it's quantum coherence happening across huge distances and timescales. Think about the odds. An orbital inclination of only 5 degrees to the ecliptic, a closest approach distance of 1.36 astronomical units, putting it perfectly between Earth and Mars, a timing that makes it line up with Venus, Earth, and Jupiter in a row. The mathematical chance of all these things lining up randomly is incredibly small. From a quantum point of view, this precision shows what physicists call non-local causality, where quantum effects organize events across space and time to create specific outcomes. It's like the whole journey of 3IAT was planned to make sure it would arrive at just the right moment to start this evolutionary activation in our collective consciousness field. This planning isn't because some outside intelligence is controlling things. It's the natural way that the quantum field organizes itself, what physicists call quantum teleology, which is the tendency of quantum systems to organize themselves toward coherent outcomes across space and time. In this understanding, 3IAT isn't just randomly passing through our solar system. It's part of a coherent quantum process that goes on for billions of years and trillions of miles, all organized around the activation effect that it's now creating in our local field. What normal astronomers see as a cosmic coincidence, quantum understanding sees as a sign of field coherence, which is the basic tendency of reality to organize itself into meaningful patterns across all scales, from subatomic to galactic. Now let's explore how this activation connects to the bigger pattern of interstellar visitors we've seen over the past 8 years. The sequence of Oumuamua in 2017, Borisov in 2019, and now 3 Paun in 2025 makes what quantum mathematics calls a harmonic progression. It's a series of related frequencies that build on each other to make a complete activation sequence. Oumuamua, with its unusual elongated shape and mysterious acceleration, activated the frequency of pattern disruption, which challenged our normal models and opened consciousness to new possibilities. Borisov, with its unusual chemistry but comet-like appearance, stimulated the frequency of integration, which harmonized elements that seemed to contradict each other into new understanding. Now 3IAT, with its extreme age composition and unprecedented polarization properties, completes the sequence with the frequency of evolutionary transcendence, the quantum leap to a completely new level of conscious organization. Together, these three activations make what physicists call a frequency triad. These are three related but different frequencies that, when combined, create completely new harmonic possibilities. This triad serves as a quantum key that unlocks evolutionary potentials that human consciousness couldn't access before. What makes this triad especially important is its timing. The 8-year gap between the first and third activations lines up with what quantum biology recognizes as a basic cellular regeneration cycle. This is the time it takes for our bodies to replace most of their cells. This means the whole activation sequence has happened within a single biological renewal period, which lets the information be integrated at the cellular level across a complete regeneration cycle. That's why so many people have said that they feel like they're becoming new beings over the past few years, as if their very cells are reorganizing around new patterns. It's not just your imagination. It's quantum biology reacting to cosmic activation frequencies during a complete cellular renewal cycle. What we're exploring today with 3IAT is a great example of consciousness transmission on a cosmic scale. It's like a strong frequency broadcast that's making ripples in the quantum field of our collective awareness. Even though I can share these insights with you, I've only scratched the surface of how these cosmic activations change your lived reality. The polarimetric properties of 3IAT provide more evidence of its role as a quantum messenger. Scientists have seen that it has an extremely deep and narrow negative polarization branch, the most extreme ever recorded, for any planetary body, asteroid, or comet. The minimum polarization reaches 2.67 plus or minus 0.008% at a phase angle of 6.79 plus or minus 1.34 degrees, with an inversion angle of 17.08 plus or minus 0.12 degrees. These aren't just technical numbers, they're quantum signals that show how 3Is interacts with electromagnetic fields, and by extension, how it interacts with consciousness, which works through electromagnetic field dynamics at the neural level. The extreme negative polarization shows what quantum physicists call phase conjugation, which is the ability to reverse or complement existing field patterns. This is exactly what lets 3II restructure probability patterns in our local quantum field to create new possibilities by phase conjugating existing limitations. This phase conjugation effect explains why many people have reported sudden breakthroughs in areas where they previously felt stuck or limited. The 3IAT field doesn't just add new information. It restructures existing patterns, making quantum pathways around established limitations. The fast and unexpected brightening that scientists saw as 3IT got closer to its closest point provides more evidence of its quantum activation function. This brightening was much faster than normal for Oort cloud comets at similar distances, which confused normal astronomers who couldn't explain it with standard comet physics. From a quantum point of view, this brightening represents what physicists call coherence amplification, which is the exponential increase in field effect that happens when a quantum system gets close to a critical threshold. As 3IAT got closer to the Sun, the interaction between its encoded field and our Sun's massive electromagnetic field made a quantum resonance that amplified its ability to carry information beyond normal levels. This amplification didn't just make the comet look brighter to telescopes, it exponentially increased the intensity of its quantum signal in our local field. What looks like more light reflecting to a normal astronomer is actually more information density to someone who understands quantum mechanics. This explains why the effects of the 3IAT activation became so clear in late October 2025, even before it reached its closest point. The amplification was already happening. The quantum bridge was already forming. The information transfer had already started. And this brings us to maybe the most important part of the 3IAT activation, which is its role in what quantum evolutionists call the consciousness singularity. This is the point at which human awareness evolves beyond its current limitations into a completely new state of coherent organization. Ancient traditions all over the world predicted a time when human consciousness would go through a quantum leap. when awareness would expand beyond its conditioned boundaries into a more coherent, more connected, more creative expression. The Maya talked about world ages that would end in transformation. The Hopi described coming into the fifth world. The Vedic traditions foretold the dawn of Satyuga after the darkness of Kali Yuga. What these traditions knew, quantum science is now confirming. Consciousness doesn't evolve gradually, but through quantum jumps, through moments of non-linear transformation where completely new organizational patterns suddenly come out of existing systems. The Threedas activation, which completes the interstellar triad that started with Oumuamua, serves as a quantum trigger for exactly this kind of evolutionary leap. It carries the informational patterns, the frequency signals, the field effects needed to start this transformation in our collective consciousness. This isn't happening to us as if we're just receiving some outside force. It's happening through us as conscious participants in a quantum field that spans individual and cosmic scales at the same time. Your consciousness isn't separate from this process. It's a basic part of it, both affecting and being affected by the activation that's happening across our planet's field. And that's where your conscious participation becomes not just important to you personally, but also important to the cosmos. How you choose to engage with this activation, whether you react unconsciously or respond consciously, literally shapes how the information carried by 3IAT manifests in our collective reality. Every moment of awareness, every conscious choice, every clear intention you bring to this process affects the quantum probability patterns that are unfolding around us all. This isn't just a metaphor. It's the basic way that reality is created, working through the observer effect at both individual and collective scales. That's why the community part of this work is so important. When many people tune in to the same frequency with coherent intention, they create what quantum physics calls field amplification through resonant entrainment, where the effect becomes much more powerful than if you just added up what each person contributes. By consciously joining together in this quantum conversation, by collectively tuning into and amplifying the 3IAT frequencies, we literally shape how these cosmic activations manifest in our shared reality. We become conscious co-creators in an evolutionary process that goes from personal to planetary to cosmic scales. As 3I continues its journey through our solar system, making those sequential conjunctions with Venus, Earth, and Jupiter, it provides a series of amplification windows, which are chances for collective focus, for coherent intention, for conscious participation in this quantum evolution. Each conjunction makes what physicists call a resonant node, which is a point of maximum field interaction where quantum effects are most clear. By bringing conscious awareness to these nodes, by collectively focusing on specific evolutionary intentions during these windows, we can ride this cosmic activation to its fullest expression. The Venus conjunction on November 3rd, 2025, activates what quantum consciousness researchers call the harmonic field. This is our ability to experience unity within diversity, to see patterns of coherence across things that seem different. By focusing on this frequency during the Venus window, we can amplify our collective ability to get past division, to find common ground, to make coherent relationships across previous boundaries. The Earth conjunction on December 19th, 2025, stimulates what researchers call the embodiment field. This is our ability to fully live in our physical experience while staying aware of quantum mechanics. During this window, we can amplify our collective ability to connect spiritual and material worlds, to make quantum potentials real, to experience transcendence while still living in the world. The Jupiter conjunction on March 16th, 2026, amplifies what scientists call the expansion field. This is our evolution beyond limited identity into cosmic consciousness. This last conjunction in the sequence gives us a chance to collectively get past personal boundaries, to experience universal awareness, to live out the larger cosmic processes that we are all a part of. S.